Good evening and welcome to Motivational Monday with Luann B. I shifted times on you a little bit today. It is now 5 p.m. Central Time. I was hoping that would help people get on maybe right before they leave their office for a little inspiration. Because as I have told you many times, historically, Mondays were a challenge for me. I would be all full of anxiety of what I failed to accomplish over the weekend and what needed to be accomplished this week. So I'm just trying to give people a little boost on their Mondays to get through their week with some inspirational messages. And it's meant to be a free coaching call that you can get on and ask whatever is going on for you, and that we can help you with whatever that is. And so tonight, I brought on my favorite coach, who has been my personal coach, Tanya Villar, the Southern Muse, who is preparing a new 40-day challenge that she is going to test out on a few select people. And my friends get to be the first people to opt in to the maximum number of, something like 12 to 17 women on this challenge that will get the benefit of this. And so we have until the end of the day, Wednesday, to get my friends registered to join me on this 40-day challenge. I wanted to introduce you to Tanya if you hadn't watched any of our videos before. And so you get a feel for what kind of wisdom she completely shares with us and why I love her so much. We are soul sisters. We are connected at an energy level. From the minute I met her, which was that now? 3 years ago now?
Yeah, about 2 or 3 years since the passion test. Yes.
Yeah. So, Tanya, tell us about the 40-day challenge.
Okay, good. I'm going to give everyone the Reader's Digest version of why I guarantee all of my challenges. My background is in speech therapy. And what I did for the first 30 some odd years of my career is I ran community homes for the handicapped. And I also worked on many interdisciplinary teams. And I wrote my own curriculum that is used in community homes all over the United States. My software, QMRP Taskmaster, that has all my teaching methods in it, it's all over the world. Okay, so what I've done as I, have moved on from those businesses and decided, I want to now create a company or do stuff that I would want to do from now to the rest of my life till I take my last breath. And that's what the Southern Muse International Divine Charm School is. Now, what I've done, and when Luann said, I want to practice on some people, what it is that I've already done the work of taking the quickest route neurologically, the simplest, profound, fun way that you can start your day each morning with certain words, certain movements, and certain tones of your voice, and how that impresses upon your neural pathways, right? And gets us to our frontal lobe. Now, when we're in our frontal lobe, we're able to think clearer. It's what it's called in the Bible and in ancient scriptures called when you unlock God's favor, where it looks like then everything, starts coming your way. Well, that's an energy field, right? And so what these 8-day challenges do, I used to do 40 days in a row. In fact, since 2010, I've done over 40-day challenges. And
for yourself, Tanya?
Yes, myself. I've always been in one. And since then, I tell everyone it's like I used to weigh 400 pounds. I was married 4 times. And even though I made tons of money with my companies, I always felt like I never had enough. And so when I began doing the 40-day processes, I feel like a country song going backwards. I got my house back. I got my man back. I got my money back. I got my figure back. I mean, it's like, I feel like I'm getting younger and younger, and I want to share this with more people. And I think what's the newest technology, I think we all have heard, if I do something for 40 days, it, impresses a new habit. But what was difficult is, we're all excited to begin, right? It's like around the 7th or 8th day, the ego starts to fight. So in doing 5 8-day challenges instead of one 40-day challenge, we never aggravate the ego to the point where it wants to just like slam us down, right? So it's a way of kind of like bobbing and weaving through your neural pathways by changing the song, by changing the words, but we're still in the same frequency. And this is when you'll start to get to literally live in the moment. When you're in your frontal lobe, that's when, it's written about the quantum shift. It really did happen. Like Joe Vitale really used to live on the streets.
He did. I know Joe.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
There is a possibility of a total shift of lifting of the veils of perception. And whatever you feel you don't have, why you have that angst, because we're going to talk about angst tonight, the blessing of angst, right? Is that there's a gift in that angst. And if you're feeling angst, you have just stopped using your imagination. That's all it means.
Huh.
And that's probably because you
okay.
need
What was that? I need a nap?
You need a nap. Your you start getting whiny, you need a nap. You need water and a nap because, you're pushing it too hard. So you won't be able to think clearly or hold a high vibration.
That is absolutely where it goes to. And I'm at a point, ladies, where I can recognize it. Okay. So I've come a long way since I started transformational work, beginning with my work with the passion test. 7 years ago, right? I just spent a last year in coaching with Tanya for a full year. Been through the Money and Life Freedom courses a couple of times, but I've come a long way, and now I'm really on that moment of being absolutely consciously aware of how my own emotions and blockages block me up, right? And so these journeys take time, and I was really excited about this 40-day challenge because I know of the changes that I can make in 40 days with doing this, and I'm just taking it up a notch to the next level. So no matter where you are in your journey of transformation, you're going to take another leap with this 40-day challenge. And so I'll give an example because then Tanya's going to probably coach me through it so that everybody benefits from it, right? And so when a client that I was sure was going to sign on the dotted line and commit to a contract with me turns around and says, no, I'm not going to do it. That's when my angst hits around money, right? That's when my angst hits around money. But I know I had a meeting last week with a young woman, and I was already in that angst feeling when I went to that luncheon, and there was no good coming out of it. The minute I walked out, I was in the wrong energy space to attract that to be a positive result, And so it's about, I want to learn how to shift so that my energy field is in the right spot for the right outcome.
Okay, great. So one of the things, if anyone's feeling that angst, like so first and foremost, this is what I want you to know. What you're going to want to embed. One of the things I said I can help you with on tonight is to find your power phrase or your power word. You see, money doesn't come from clients. You got to really get that in your heart. Money comes from source, just like air. It comes through people because we're all channels.
Right.
It is not Money is not food. Money is not survival. But because of how you use your imagination about it, you're using your imagination as if you're going to starve. You're so many years away from starvation. It's not even funny. Right now, you didn't have a dime. You know, so you gotta ask, like, you know, I understand it's inherited. I understand that you've gotten it honestly. But when you are right here, remember the Fibonacci spiral, right? When we're aligned, like this whole 40 days is gonna teach you how to turn into yourself.
Right.
However, to turn into yourself by asking loving questions. You'll go to a whole different part and you'll have a whole different lifestyle than how you're turning in on yourself. It's bottom line. How are you talking to yourself moment by moment?
Right.
You're probably saying, oh my God, we're going to starve because this person said no. No, you got food right now.
Yep.
What you do is you sit back, you pour yourself a glass of wine, you get you some cheese and crackers, you sit down there and say, thank you, God. Tomorrow, you know, like I pray, I imagine exactly what I desire, and then I serve. The rest of the day is for everybody else. So if you come across my path, I'm going to love on you.
Right.
And so I'm more focused on sharing my gift, not on, is it enough? Is it enough? Am I enough? That's the frequency. The frequency is you got to know you work for the universe.
Okay.
You know, and now you say it, Luann. Say it back to me so I can hear your tone.
I work for the universe.
Okay, but how does that feel?
Well, it felt good in that moment.
Okay, so
I practice a lot of things that Tanya has been teaching me, is going to teach all of you in my morning. I still do a meditation that Tanya designed specifically for me every single morning because it shifts. I can feel the frequency shift in my body, right? From that. And I am a divine vessel of the Most High God, as Tanya would tell me.
Right. And I think the last place you're at, like I want everyone that's a light worker that has a message, that you have a divine message. It says right at the last on all the ancient scriptures, it says you must align. Like you must seek, ask, and knock. And so that's what's included in this challenge. We dance, we sing, we say it out loud, what we desire, right? In a joyful way. And then that affects your ocular nerve in your limbic system. It literally affects it. So you're going to start seeing miracles. Now, what you want to then know is that by making sure you monitor your startle response.
Yeah.
Because when that's what it is, Luann, you're like this beautiful little hummingbird.
Yeah.
So you move very quick. That's why you're the spark, right? That's your natural soul movement.
Yes.
So you've got to be where mine is more flowing, right? So you need to give yourself some of this joy hop every day. If you don't, you're going to feel like you're behind. You know, you've got to know you love that. And it's actually self-calming for you. Because you have that feeling. And then you won't have to always feel like you got to fight to get that effervescent feeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What are you thinking as I say that?
I'm thinking about a presentation I did on Friday morning. Deb, you weren't there, were you? You missed the round table on Friday.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, here's what I can tell you. Is that I knocked it out of the park.
Did you really?
And I got to tell you, Tanya, what I did that morning. I was kind of nervous last week. I had some of this angst going on. And I often, little known fact, spend no time practicing my presentations because I ask the divine to move through me what the people in the room need to hear from me in this day. But because of this angst that was inside of me at the beginning of last week, I started practicing, and it was only making me more nervous. And so finally, Thursday night, I said, done. You're getting worse instead of better. Put it away and turn it over to God. And I woke up in the morning. I did all my morning rituals that you taught me to do. And I literally said, what is your message for me today? And he goes, you're just going to explode into that room and love all over those people. And that's what the mood I was in when I went in, and I knocked it out.
Cool.
It was so awesome, and it felt so good. And so I also take myself back to those feelings. When that angst comes up, I try and go right back to that Friday feeling.
Right. And this is a big part, my loves. Oh, I'm sorry, I might be talking over someone, but this is a huge part. Luann, I don't want you to run from angst. You need to give that angst 2 minutes.
2 minutes and 30 seconds to flow through.
Because that angst has some information in it. You see?
Yep.
And that's the only reason why you get a little angst ball thrown at you, because your higher self is wanting you to sit down a minute. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean you got to do more. It means that it's about to give you a shortcut. It's about to show you a gift. It's a present that they want you to open, and you're bypassing your present.
Okay.
You see, so the present, right? They want you to sit down with the journal right then, because you could be channeling your next chapter. See, I want us all to start seeing in this 40 days that it doesn't no longer mean that we got to stop and look for something wrong with us. I want you to understand that this 40 days, if you get slowed down with these emotions, it's because you're going to look for what's right with you. Okay, you're getting a message, and I want you to listen for it from that perspective. Because look, we've all done a lot of forgiveness work. How many of us have been in personal growth for over 30 years? I have. I mean, I've been doing this, for a very long time. And what I'm saying is, there's nothing wrong with me. And it's taken me this long to figure that out. And so now I just want to share who I am. And that's a whole different perspective that you get of yourself when you speak that. Does that make sense? What are you seeing?
So in the meditation that I do every morning, talks about when you feel the desire to fight, flee, is it? Fight, flee, yes. Or fight? No. Mm-hmm. Say it again.
Fight, flight, or freeze.
Or freeze, right? And I love that. That's that moment of angst, right? When you feel you're gonna, one of those three things is happening. And what I'm hearing you say is stop and meditate.
Yes.
Even, just for a couple of minutes to go, what is this teaching me? Right?
Yeah. What do you
Thank you for this message.
Yeah. And you go, because there's a whole new way to look at angst. Because what you want to understand is when you understand that you don't get afraid to feel afraid anymore. Like you say, oh, I'm afraid. Let me sit down for 2 minutes. Then guess what? Fear stops multiplying. Mm-hmm. And there's no emotion that when you sit down with it lasts longer than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You can't. I recently lost my father, and, grieving is something that is deep, it's deep. And I have been going through some very deep grieving for my father that lasts at the most 8 minutes, where I'm going through waves of 1.5 minutes of that melancholy, of that yearning, you know? And what it is that I allow it. My body has to get used to not being on the side of him. So I allow my body to yearn. I allow my body to grieve. And then what happens is when I come out of that, I feel more connected to him. You know, my body I have to give my body loving guidance to align instead of shaming it.
Yes.
And that's a whole different perspective.
Yes.
So no, that's the process of this 40-day. I mean, have you ever imagined, Luann? Have you ever spoke lovingly to yourself for 40 days in a row?
I'm going to have to say no.
Right. So imagine, all of us imagine, like if we, as we become our own self-esteem, you know, we become our own authority in that we detach from love, appreciation, or approval from others, and we connect totally to our inner guidance, right? I mean, right now, I mean, it's the time to be that. Be that bold and be that at peace, you know, and be that beautiful and be that much fun and be that much loving to yourself. How much fun, right?
That's been one of my favorite prayers. I fail to remember it as frequently as one ought to, maybe, but God spare me from the desire to seek love, approval, or appreciation.
Yeah, and you know, and like what it is, I mean, it really is so freeing. I mean, the last whenever we get really deep into my story, whenever you get into my Zoom rooms, and you know, if you're my personal client, you really get to know some of the deep stuff, the evolutions that I've gone through some pretty deep stuff, and I'm sure we all have, right? And so there is a system and there is a flow. And right now, there's so much that's being scientifically shown to us. And what I love about our generation is that we know now what we wish we would have known then.
Always.
You know?
Always.
You know what I'm saying? And we can rock this out. I mean, right now, we're about to be a time on this earth when it's mostly women, mostly our age, and we're going to have most of the wealth. It's about to be a transference of wealth. And guess who's going to? The women baby boomers, because we're still alive. So we're about to be the most influential people in the marketplace. So I'm saying, let us start getting really good with our imaginations.
So I want to point out another thing here, you know, because this is true for me, and so I know it will be true for many others. There is a difference between logically knowing what Tanya is saying is true and embodying it.
Yeah.
And so logically, I've known a lot of the things related to transformation are true. I can sit in a lecture and go, I get that. That makes sense. I understand. But owning it in my body and shifting the programming that's been in my body for the last 55 years is a whole nother ballgame. And what Tanya's work does is help us to embody those truths that we really want to be living in our lives and be in the flow of life, that it feels like everything's rolling out at your feet rather than we're pushing a boulder uphill. Is another one of my favorites. And so that to me is the best value of this 40-day challenge, is getting it into your body and asking you to do things that are going to shift that alignment in your body in a fun and easy way. But it's so powerful. And in addition to us having the 40-day challenges, that the things we're going to do every morning for 40 days are, 6 minutes? Short.
What it is, it's 8 minutes in the morning.
8 minutes.
I want you to have, sit down and journal. So everything is lined out. It's 5 challenges. but everyone that opts in to the Zoom room, back coach, I only have 17 seats. When Miss Diane has already enrolled, yay!
Yay!
And Doreen is trying to call you to schedule your science and soul reading, yay! So she's going to send you an email, Miss Diane. Everyone will get a full hour science and soul reading from me. And that's when I read your language and I show you your language patterns. And I share with you what your power words are, to help you integrate. Okay, that's that. You also get 4 Zoom rooms, us and 17 other people. I know we only have 9 more minutes before you go off, but doing that and in the Zoom room. And these are the topics. First is how to wear your blessings well. I'm going to go over how different jewelry on different acupressure points helps integrate, your energy field. Okay. And from the ancient stuff to, the current day jewelry and such. And also about dressing in the morning. So it's intentional. The second one is your heart and your home, how to center and make your heart like an energy center that heals everyone in your neighborhood just by it being there. Okay. And then the third one is going to talk about something else great. I can't remember. And then we're going to celebrate. So what I'm saying is and then it's these wonderful 2-hour sessions where we have some content, but we also have free flow channeling. And we have a group of us there that support each other, right? So we're really going to rock it. And I do special meditations just for the 17 of us. So there you go. And I'll put that link. I see a chat here.
I put in the link to registration, but if you have the link to the landing page with all the details, you could throw it in there.
That's what I'm going to do. That's the new one, because that's the one I want you to share with everybody is the
because you want all the details of what's all included, and it's only $170.
I went to your website and registered, Luann, and it was wonderful. But when are we starting?
March 1st.
March 1st.
Okay.
Yay. You're going to get, Miss Diane, you're going to get a whole packet. It's going to get sent out to you. We just finished it today with 2 videos from me. One, like telling you how to get ready for the challenge. And then another one, so you and I can do your science and soul reading. And so Doreen's going to call you to schedule you in, okay? So you're about to receive your full packet. So hey, Miss Diane, we're going to sit down and have such a good time.
Well, I'm excited.
Tanya.
I've never done anything with Luann that hasn't been marvelous. So
I know,
Thank you, sweetheart.
It's true.
So the 4 Zoom rooms, have we scheduled those dates yet?
Yes, all that's in the packet. All that when they
after they register.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you the dates if y'all want them. They're March 8th. They're let me tell you real quick. Ooh, here we go. They're March 8th, March 22nd, April 5th, and April 19th.
What time?
What are the times on those?
The 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Wonderful.
Central time.
Central time. And
Tanya, where do you live?
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Right by Baton Rouge.
How neat.
It is nice. Maybe you'll come see. I have a little center. I have a little retreat center. We're opening up some little bedrooms so people can come and hang out and meditate and do all that fun stuff at the charm school. So
in our last few minutes, Deb, Diane, do you have any questions for Tanya or myself? I'm going to be participating in this challenge right alongside of you. This is as much for me as it is for you. I just want to bring my friends along because I believe in Tanya and I believe in the work she's doing and because we can support one another.
Oh yeah, and I can tell you, it's going to be a blast. And the women that join us, like whatever you're dreaming for, we're going to multiply, right? Because when 2 or more are gathered and we do it in unison, it just focuses the energy. So it makes it easier for all of us.
So
You know?
where does the 8 days, I mean, do you talk to us like in the morning?
What happens is I have a Kajabi course room, and I have a tape set up that when you're ready, when you wake up, you know, it goes over what you do each morning. I'm also going to be doing it at a set time if you want to join me live, or you get the recording for that day.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing it on the weekdays at 11 o'clock and on the weekends at 9 a.m. because I like to get up early and do my stuff. And I know at 11, some people wanted me to do it at 11. So I'm going to have a daily schedule of when I go live with
Okay.
the challenge. And like I said, you can either join me right then. I'll have a message for the day. I'll have a word for the day. I'll have something to keep how magnificent you are in the front of your mind.
In that frontal lobe.
So this morning when you do this, about how long is it? Is it a half an hour, 5 minutes?
At the most. The actual challenge itself is only 8 minutes.
Okay.
8 minutes of singing and moving.
Good, because I would say 30 minutes, I probably wouldn't end up doing it.
I know, right? That's right. That's why I made it 8 minutes.
And
then
Deb,
the
you don't.
can be done later in the day. You don't have to do it then.
Okay.
So
you 8 minutes in the morning and 8 minutes at night. Then you begin and end your day, right?
Okay.
Yes.
so and so she's each 8-day section. The same thing will be done repetitiously each morning. So once you've learned what it is, you can do it at your own schedule anytime, or you can come online and we can do it in numbers. So if there's a day that you're unable to be online, that's just fine. Just still do it yourself at an appropriate time in your day for you. Okay?
Now, is there a break between the 8 days then?
No, we go right from
Boom,
one
boom, boom.
to the next.
So it is like 40 days altogether. You just divided it up into the 5 weeks.
Yes.
You got it.
And what you're going to see is some really pretty fabulous shifts. So really, like, I mean, people that are facing, like when they were facing foreclosure, everything got like shifted in 40 days. I can't guarantee everyone shift, but if I know what's going on with you, I can predict more what's going to occur because
Which
I know
is why the soul.
Yeah, when you get the reading, I can say, okay, this is how it's going to unfold for you based on where you want to go.
Okay.
You see what I mean? I can help plot it better.
Okay.
Anyone else doing it, then, you know, I have to hear their language to know where they're at.
Right.
And then to say where you want to go, okay, we want to shift your language this way. And then we really hit that target. You see?
Tanya, I have a question. I try not to be this way, but I'm launching a new business and I'm afraid. I realize an emotion inside of me is fear.
Yes.
And I don't quite know how to deal with that. I don't want to let it consume me because I want to be effective.
Diane, you are in the right spot.
Girl,
and you need to schedule that appointment with Tanya to get that first hour consultation under your belt where you can talk more deeply about that.
Okay.
And this is just a demonstration, my friends, of the value of that 1 hour with Tanya, that you're going to get to dive into your personal fear or blockage that you're having so she can redirect you and give you tools that are going to work specifically for you. So it's normally a $350 value just for that 1 hour. And this whole 40-day challenge is only $170. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So we've only
That's what I wanted. I wanted Luann to like have her whole tribe because Luann's about to bust open. Okay?
Yes, yes.
Her tribe is, you know, she's about to bust open. So this is a way of getting everybody together, right?
Right.
And you know,
and I got so many friends like the two of you sitting here who are right on that edge, right, as well, of getting to make a huge shift. Diane, you know, I'm coaching Diane. I know exactly what's going on, and Tanya's the next extra piece that you need. So this is beautiful. So I've only got a minute left to say goodnight. And so I want to thank you both for coming on tonight. Tanya, thank you for being here with us. And thank you, Universe, for giving us Tanya and this 40-day challenge. It's going to be amazing. And the sooner you get registered, the sooner you're guaranteed your spot as one of the 17 that get all this good stuff. And the sooner you can get your 1 hour scheduled with Tanya and get started now. March 1st is right around the corner, and you want to have that hour session with her under your belt before we get started on March 1st.
Yes, I want your words. I need you to fill out that form so I can see your words. So yes.
Wonderful.
Register and